Welcome into the latest edition of the Steal with the Boys podcast. I am your host, Junie Riddle, here, along with my boys.
Juwan Williams.
Coach Campbell.
Another Steelers game day and another prime time matchup. And fellas, I don't think there's been a prime time game that's been as big and as important as this one. Steelers, Chargers, Sunday Night Football. Everybody's going to be watching. Steelers laid a dud Sunday Night Football 2 weeks ago, but now they're playing an AFC playoff contender. And Trey and I checked the stats before the episode. If the Steelers win, 74% chance they get into the playoffs. If they lose tonight, it drops all the way down to, what was it, Trey, 47%?
47%.
47%. So big game against a very high caliber AFC opponent. Which Steelers are going to show up tonight? Fellas, how are we doing today? How are the game day vibes going? And what are our initial thoughts on this matchup? Juwan, let me throw it to you. Let's start with you.
All right. First, let me say that the Jaguars just blew a lead, and so Jacoby Myers, you chose the Jaguars over the Steelers, and I see why. So you're used to losing. I understand why now. I understand, but that just makes me happy about tonight. Big game. Also not the Rams. The Ravens won today, so we have to win today. This is a big game. I really don't see us losing back-to-back primetime games, but you never know. It's NFL. We just have to see what we do. I need the defense to play consistent. We need to find consistency with this team, and tonight needs to be the night that we start this winning streak.
Trey, what are the vibes for tonight?
I agree. I mean, this is a huge game. This is currently we're the 4th seed, the Chargers are the 5th seed in the AFC right now. So it's a big matchup. We got to keep that lead over the Ravens. The Ravens are going to keep winning. They have a pretty light schedule coming up from what I've seen. Ours is a little tougher, so this is a huge one. Like, we got to get this one. I saw the Bears won, which we play them next week, correct? So like we got some tough matchups coming up. So this Bengals and then Bears.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, still, I mean, we got tough matchups coming up. So when we can get a win, when we need one when we're in prime time, those are important wins to get. Show the rest of the league, show the rest of the world that we're here to play. And man, I'm just excited. I feel like from what I've seen on Twitter and everything, like it's going to be another home game for the Steelers on the West Coast. So we should have the crowd noise and all that good stuff tonight, against the Chargers. Them having both their tackles out is going to be huge. That defensive line better show up. The edge rushers better be showing up. And I expect us to get to Justin Herbert and get him rattled. And they also, not to mention that I think their top 3 backs were injured all year. I mean, they had Najee Harris, they had Omari and Hampton, and then they had maybe they're on their 3rd back. But still, I mean, we got to come out and play. We play like we did last week. We'll be okay. And I'm just excited. Sunday night games there's nothing like Sunday night games. I like Sunday night better than Monday night games. But this Sunday night game, this is gonna be a big matchup. I think it's gonna be a great game as well.
And speaking of matchups, let's get into our matchups that we're going to be looking at for today's game against the Chargers on the road. And even though we are on the road, we are expecting to see majority Steeler fans out in SoFi Stadium. So, Juwan, a lot of matchups to pick in this game, a lot of things to watch for. What's the number one matchup for you that's going to decide whether the Steelers are going to win or a loss out in LA?
Well, my number one matchup will be their wide receiver core versus our DBs. And that's the one I'm scared about because you got Keenan Allen, you got Johnston, and you have Ladd. I just want to see. I really hope that Darius Slay don't guard Ladd, because please don't let it be Ladd. That's really what I'm looking for because our DBs hasn't been consistent at all. We rely on Darius Slay to be a veteran leader, he'll we automatically know that he'll either be injured or get hurt in this game, or he'll blow a coverage, or we can also know as Steelers fans that JPJ will get some kind of hold or pull, because it happens every game, and he hasn't learned yet. But that's my matchup. That's the scariest part of this whole game because these receivers with Justin Herbert is very, very scary. And with our defense, with no consistency, it could be a tough day or it could be a good day for us. So
All right, Trey. You already
I
kind
like.
of started to hint on one. I feel like this is where you're going to be going with this one.
Yeah, I mean that would have been my matchup to be like afraid of. With our secondary. I want to defend our secondary for 1 second though. I feel like this is the first back-to-back weeks that we have the same exact starting secondary. If I'm correct, like either Chuck Clark's been out, Juan Thornhill's been out, Deshaun Elliott being out. Like now we just moved Jalen Ramsey to safety. So like this will be the first week that I think they have back to back same starting secondary with Eccles, Slay, JPJ, Ramsey, and Kyle Duggar. So I'd like to see for that to improve. The blown coverages can happen when you have different guys back there all the time. They're playing with different guys week in and week out. So I'm hoping that it's a little bit more consistent than it's been. Like you said, Slay will go down at some point. JPJ will get a hold, but I think the key matchup is getting the Justin Herbert, and that's where we will, kind of even the playing field with our secondary not being as good as we thought it would be. Is getting to Herbert and getting pressure on him, rattle him like he can't get the ball to his receivers if he's laying on the ground. So I think that's where we take this matchup. Both their tackles being out, T.J. Watt's healthy, Alex Highsmith's healthy, Herbig's in there, and Jack Sawyer's been balling out too. Not to mention that D line has been getting pressure. Like Keanu Benton has been balling out for us, and we were kind of down on him early in the year. He's been getting to the quarterback, playing the run pretty well. I'd like to see a little bit more of Derek Harmon and him getting some pressure. I know we drafted him to be an interior pass rusher, so I want to see more of him. But I think that's the matchup that is key for this game. Getting to Justin Herbert and exposing them for not having their starting tackles.
So there is one matchup that I think a ton of people are overlooking here. And the Chargers do have really good receivers. I would say like they're all of them are good, not necessarily great. A lot of them are young guys in their first, second, third year that they're still working and can be, but haven't proven to be legitimate number one options yet. But one guy has come onto the scene this year and looked really, really good for them. And that's their rookie tight end, Gadsden, out of Syracuse, whose father also played in the NFL. I believe he played for the Miami Dolphins back in the day. But this guy is going nuts. And he's been going nuts for the last couple of weeks and has really caught fire. And the way that we are against tight ends, I feel like we got to have more of a Tyler Warren game. Then we had a Kraft game the week prior. This guy is super athletic, super fast when he gets the ball into his hands, tall, lengthy, strong, just everything you want in a modern day tight end. And so it's really going to be up to the linebackers, Peyton Wilson and Patrick Queen, to get on this guy and to put hands on him, to be physical with him in order to make sure that he doesn't get going. Because again, yes, Herbert does have that connection with, Keenan Allen. Johnston has been jumping on to the scene this year, but I think a highly underrated pass catcher that we need to be looking out for is this rookie tight end the Chargers got going. Because if we let him get loose, it could be a long day. It could be a long day. So I think he's going to be a guy to watch out for. And I know, our safeties and our linebackers have struggled to cover tight ends. So hopefully Ramsey being back there and maybe having the assignment of the rookie can really get under his skin and limit what he's able to do in today's game. So, fellas, let's go ahead and get into our score predictions. Trey, I'm going to throw it right back to you. What is your score prediction for tonight's game, and how do you think it's going to go down?
I think it's going to turn out to be. Might start off a little slow, but it's going to turn out to be a higher scoring game. Considering the Steelers usually don't get into high scoring games, but this year they've been scoring some points. So, my prediction for this game is the Steelers pull it out. They win 27-23.
Okay, Juwan, what about you? How do you think this game's going to go down, and what's going to be the final score?
The score is I see it going like how Trey said, a shootout way. But it all just depends on our defense, and it also depends on play calling on the offensive side, especially third down conversions. So my score, I have it a pretty high one. So I have 31-24 Steelers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, a late ending touchdown.
Okay. So last week, obviously the defense played, really, really well. And I think it was because they really honed in on taking Jonathan Taylor out of the game and making sure that Daniel Jones beat them. In that Steichen offense, they really do rely on the play action, getting guys open, those open crossers. I felt like the Steelers really did a great job of taking that away in the way they played Jonathan Taylor. The only difference today is it's really going to come down to your all's two matchups for me. It really is. Are the outside linebackers and Highsmith, Herbig, and Watt going to get home and take over today's game? Or is Herbert going to be getting the ball out very quickly and trying to hit some of these dynamic receivers that he has, really good connections with? I mean, I look at Ladd McConkey and why am I mentioned his name earlier? Keenan Allen and these guys, these are kind of slot, really shifty, can catch and get some yards after the catch on the run. So, and also the Chargers don't necessarily rely on the run game the way the Colts do. So I don't really know, guys. I've been 50-50 on this game. I really think it could go either way. I'm going to lean towards the Chargers, though. I'm going to lean in towards the Chargers, and I'm going to say Chargers win 24-20. I think that Herbert's been playing really well. He's second in the NFL in touchdowns thrown this year. They've been doing it without a run game. The Steelers have struggled against the pass, and they're going to go pass heavy because their two top running backs are out for the time being. And so I just see this as a game that doesn't really align well with the Steelers. The Chargers defense is also really underrated. Derwin James is going to be doing his best to limit the tight ends in this game. So it's really going to come down to what DK Metcalf and Calvin Austin can do. And they've been quiet for the last couple weeks. So again, I really see this as a 50-50 game. And the Steelers are going to have the crowd noise to their advantage. So that might really help in putting the Chargers on a silent count. But all in all, I'm looking purely at the matchup here. And I'm gonna lean towards the Chargers. Could go either way. I really hope I'm wrong. But no, all in all, guys, I think the Chargers get it done, and hopefully this is a Junie jinx. Picking against the Steelers, and then they pull it out. That's what I'm hoping for.
I knew that's why you were doing that. Knew it.
Listen. Is this not as much of a 50-50 game as there is on the schedule?
I think it's a great matchup.
It really could. One or two plays are going to decide this game, fellas. And if the Steelers make it, the Steelers are going to win this game. But if they don't, I mean, this Chargers offense and the roster they have, this is a really good team. This is a really good team. So
I agree with you.
We
always what's that, Juwan?
I got one thing to say about your prediction, and if we don't get this, I'm with you. If we don't get at least 4 sacks on Justin Herbert tonight, we'll lose this game.
I think that's a reasonable number.
I agree with that.
I think it's they have to get home today. They have got to dominate that Chargers offensive line because there have been other weeks where there have been other matchups that looked like the Steelers should dominate and they haven't. And
That's
so
exactly what I was gonna say.
it's that in the back of my mind. I get the recency bias of what we saw with the Colts is saying they should go in and dominate this line of scrimmage and do this. But we've also seen in other games earlier this year that hasn't always been the case. And so that's where my hesitation lies. But Trey, you're the man with the odds. Let's wrap this thing up here with Steal of the Week. What is the line? What is the over under? And what is Vegas thinking this game is going to look like?
Well, the Steelers are a 3-point underdog. So +3 if you want to take the spread. Total is 44.5 on points. So I think all of us, I think you even have the over, don't you, Junior? Yep. Well, I
did
the under.
24-20, so I think that's under by half a point.
Yeah, half a point. But yeah, those are the odds we got. You want me to go with my steal of the week? My touchdown
go ahead.
score and player prop?
Touchdown score, prop bet.
I have my touchdown score. I think this is somebody who went off against the Chargers last year, Mr. Calvin Austin. I'm going to take Calvin Austin touchdown score. He also needs to prove that he saw the Steelers were going out and looking for a wide receiver too. He needs to prove something. Do a little bit more. Like just have a great game and show them that maybe they don't necessarily need a wide receiver too. Maybe they just need somebody to complement him and DK. And my player prop, I saw this earlier. I actually took it in one of my parlays. If I can find it, it's in passing props. Aaron Rodgers is set to 217.5. I'm going to take his over.
Okay.
Prime time Perk Rogers coming out to play tonight.
All right, Joanne, what we got?
All right. I was over here looking and seeing is his name on here. But it's not. So I'm not even gonna say his name. So
what name were we talking about?
I was gonna go MVS.
I don't even know.
He ain't
He's not even
today.
starting, so
he ain't playing today.
That's what I'm saying. I looked at it, I was like, nah. But actually, I think Kenneth Gainwell. Something's telling me Kenneth Gainwell will get a touchdown today. I know we lean more towards Warren, but some plays, like explosive plays, especially out the backfield, it usually be Kenneth Gainwell. And
I was just gonna say my buddy who's an Eagles fan who he played for a long time said you'll have a Kenny Gainwell like every 3 games, and I think he's had a pretty decent game 2 games ago, so you might be right. Yeah.
And then I'm also gonna go. I'm going Justin Herbert over 250.
Justin Herbert over 250.
Yeah.
I can see it either way. If they're winning the game, it's because he's passing the ball. And if we're winning the game, he's playing catch up and getting some chunk yards in the fourth quarter. I think I see Herbert getting close to 300 yards passing. That's just
his line set at 252.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Juwan on that one. I would go on the over on that one as well. For me, I'm going to go DK Metcalf anytime touchdown. I feel I've been going outside of the box, but he's been quiet for the last couple of weeks. I think this is a game, especially against these Charger corners, which I don't see as being super talented. I think DK has a bounce back game. So I'm going to double up on DK. DK over on yards. I believe his line is set at 49.5, 50.5, somewhere around there.
It is set at 49.5.
Yeah, give me DK over and a DK anytime touchdown. I think DK Metcalf comes back and puts himself back in the spotlight in tonight's game.
I like that. DK. But Calvin's another one I could throw out there. Calvin's is set at 32.5. He has 2 catches. He's over that.
So, oh yeah, See.
His
I
line
like
is
it.
set so
I
low.
was originally planning to go with Calvin Austin, but you stole it initially. That was going to be my
The
sleeper
touchdown
touchdown.
score. Yeah.
I could honestly, I could see him and DK both scoring in
Yeah.
today's game and being the Steelers touchdown scores. But all in all, fellas, huge matchup. Like I mentioned in the beginning of today's game day episode, Steelers win, 74% chance to make the playoffs. Steelers lose, drops under 50%, right at 47%. And it could go either way, just depending on how this season unravels. But, fellas, another primetime game, another big time matchup. Steelers beat one of the best teams in the NFL, shut down a guy that put up, 50 fantasy points this morning?
Yeah.
When he's playing
Another 3
overseas?
touchdown games.
Also, yeah, I seen somebody say on Twitter, they said that, there's not really that much that's saying, but so much respect to Tomlin from last week that's not being said, because if we can hold him to 47 yards, that is crazy.
It is.
And the
It's-
Falcons supposed to have the number 1 defense in the league.
And all in all, fellas, I mean, it really depends on which Steelers defense shows up today. Is this the Steelers defense that's going to get after the quarterback and force turnovers and really limit what the offense can do, or is it the Steelers that just don't show up, let the quarterback get the ball out with ease, and the secondary is sleeping and having mental lapses? It really could be one or the other. I'm hoping that defense that we saw last week continues to build upon that and carries over through the rest of the season. But all in all, we will have to see tonight. Fellas, any last comments before we wrap up today's episode?
Just win. Just
yeah.
consistent. Just win.
Just got to win.
I don't care what we win by. We just need to win. I don't care how ugly it is. This is one of those games that I honestly like. It could be the ugliest game in the world as long as we win and keep that lead over the Ravens. Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Sunday Night Football, Steelers, Chargers, 8:20 kickoff Eastern Time, 7:20 kickoff Central. We will give you all the latest upcoming on either Monday or Tuesday this week and giving a full recap and reaction to tonight's game. For the Stealing with the Boys podcast, we are out.
Here we go.
There we go. Let's go.